again. And the ads are on the way. Okay. All right. We got WSL running, and you know, first things first is we're doing, like, you know, our Ubuntu apt-get update. I just wanna, there's update and there's upgrade. Well, we're just gonna do the apt-get update. Like, first things first, like, this just basically updates all your packages. Always do that. And then we wanna install some things. I always forget if I have to do this with sudo or not. I don't think so. apt-get, let's try for git. Oh wait, apt-get install, I'm sorry. apt-get install git. Okay, yeah, I have to be sudo. I'm sorry. Beginner mistake. Yes. So yeah, now we're just installing some things that we want on our Linux. Git is version control, what we want. What else do we want? Actually, do we need anything right away now? No, for now this is fine. We are in our home directory. We can already... what is again? Make dir. Is it mufdir? No, just oh, it is make dir. Oh, okay, never mind. I'll just do a project, and so we're now on that Linux system, right? And if you're wondering, like, but, like, you know, where is that actually? You now have here, when you open your Explorer, you have your Linux system here, okay? So, and we are in our home directory. So if you're wondering where we just created this folder, you can see a home. Here's our user, Sami, right? And here's the folder we just created, the projects folder. So, you know, so you have access to those files here very easily. And when we go into PHP Storm, we can actually also choose here to, you know, it has integration. But even if you do not, even if you work with an editor that does not have integration with WSL, you can always, like, go here and copy this path and open stuff up. It might just, like, the next time you open the editor, it might just not, like, find these or so, but this generally, like, works, right? You have a valid file path here too to your files, right? Okay. Now we will wanna make an Angular project, right? So we want Angular CLI. For that, we're just gonna go here, you know, install Angular. Let's go here. Yeah, we need Node.js. Actually, I need to check Ubuntu install Node.js. Linux. Wait, what is FNM again? I guess we could do Docker as well. Oh yeah, let's actually Node Version Manager. I like Node Version Manager. Let's do that. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so Node Version Manager allows us to have multiple versions of Node. Always very, very useful. Looking good. Let's see if it worked, or 14 similar ones. Wait, let's restart terminal, because sometimes after installation you need to just restart it. Okay, yes. So now it's replying and we see, okay, it was installed, very good. And now we do the nvm install 22. It's gonna install Node.js version 22 and the corresponding npm. npm is the package manager. And then, yeah, we can, I mean, we already did that. It's now 22. And nvm current should be also, okay, very good. And yeah, I guess we verify the npm as well. Okay, nice. All right, so now Node is installed. That is required for Angular. Astralis, hello. Yes, nerd stream indeed. I did, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna start like everything from scratch, right? We're gonna do a full setup. I did a new Windows user, everything, right? So people can follow along if they want to, right? On like how to set up Angular, and also honestly just because, like, you know, why waste time off stream if we can do it on stream, right? While chatting. I did not account for the fact that I have to restart the computer. So I had to restart the computer twice and restart the stream. No worries, Astralis, no worries. But yeah, I can shortly also explain, because I guess I didn't really explain, but like, yeah, we're just gonna do like, my goal is just a silly little side project, like for funsies, for learning, where we're trying to make like a sort of item card game, actually auto battler, you know, in Angular. I'm very experienced web dev. I'm very noobish when it comes to game dev. I have played around with some frameworks, but yeah, I think it's a fun idea to try to do it in Angular as basically a web app. And yeah, it's, I think, a perfect mix for I feel like if I did a full-on game dev project, streaming that, it would be very difficult for me, because there's so much research I have to do myself, right? Where I would be like, yeah, let me read this, right? Like because it's fun too, and I learn a lot doing that too. But like, I think we want a nice balance where I can do things that I know a lot about, where I can, you know, answer questions, and I'm not like all the time actually just myself super distracted researching. Why not an interactive mod tool to have commands manipulating the OBS scene? You wish. Pair programming with chat. And long term, yeah, maybe long term we will have something like that, right? But yeah, okay. So now that we got npm, we can via npm install the Angular CLI. So who here in chat has worked with Angular? I think Sleepy, you have, right? Oh, it says new retro version of npm available. That is surprising to me, that the nvm, that it didn't make me install the newest one. Oh, I guess because this is the LTS. Huh. If someone moves the cam window in menus, that might not be a bad thing, especially if you don't need to take care of that. You mean to like follow the birds around? I was actually thinking like this would actually be legit something that you could have an AI for. An AI script just following birds around. You did most big JS frameworks. Okay, so Sleepy, which one's your favorite? React, Vue, Angular. Which one's your favorite? The menu? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Astralis. Oh, in-game? Oh, no, I would hate that. I get what you're saying, right? But I think it's way too busy, you know, having the camera move all the time because it covers something. I think that's way too busy. I would hate that. Yeah, I know. I would hate that. It's way too busy. But yeah. Anyways, we've got Angular. We're not gonna update. We are on the LTS. We're not gonna update the NPM. This is fine. We got the Angular CLI installed. And yeah, it says here now, new project. Oh yeah, for Sleepy, Vue. I think Vue is a great choice too. Vue sits as this child in between Angular and React. I choose Angular for this, what we're doing here is because I do think Angular is the easiest for beginners. Because they get, like, this is arguable, right? But like, generally speaking, Angular is a full-blown framework while Vue and React aren't, okay? And because Angular is a full-blown framework, it will give you a lot of like guidance in how to do things. And it also comes with a lot of things that aren't provided in React and Vue that you have to like implement yourself. Personally, I like React, but I like Vue too. But I'm just not sure. Like the thing is, I generally usually don't get to choose, right? And there is unfortunately not as many Vue projects out there. Well. So the main thing, Sleepy, I know it looks that way, right? When a beginner looks at Angular, it looks like, oh my God, there is so many things to know, right? Because it has so many things. But the reality is the following, right? When you have a beginner do React, yes, they are pretty free in what they can do, right? And you might see it as easier in that way. But the reality is, if you do React, like Angular comes with an HTTP client, right? Angular comes with a shit ton of interfaces. Angular comes with service injection, right? All these tools are not to you, like are not automatically there if you do React, right? You have to implement that yourself. So basically, you can see Angular as like this full-blown framework that is giving you a lot of tools and a lot of guidance if you're new to it, while React, if you're new to it, you like somebody who doesn't even know how a web app fundamentally usually works, right? They wouldn't even know where to begin, right, when these topics arise, right? While with Angular, it's like, oh, you want to make an HTTP request, you know, here is a guide for that, right? Oh, you know, and yeah, you learn about services and stuff, right? Like it's just in-house there. Oh yeah. Angular is the opposite of lightweight, right? And that's also like it's really big. It has poor performance. It's the opposite of lightweight, right? For sure. But I do think Angular is a good starting point for web devs because it comes just with everything readily available that you need to make a web app. Sure, Astralis. Thank you for tuning in and have a beautiful day. All right. Anyways, let's make our new project. So are we... Okay, we are not in our folder, so we're gonna go into our new folder and we are gonna create a project which we are gonna call Twitch. Wait, this is it discriminatory against YouTube if I call it Twitch? Stream card game. Okay, all right. Here we go. Now we have a little bit of setup. Would you like to enable auto completion? This will set up your terminal, so pressing tab while typing will show possible options. Sure. Would you like to share pseudonymous data? No. We want SAS. Do you want to enable server-side rendering? No. It is discriminatory and I support the discrimination. Very nice, very nice. All right, this is gonna take a second. Actually, why is it gonna taking that? Okay, there we go. Author identity unknown. Go join Elon. Okay. Right. We haven't actually set up our Git config. We haven't even set up a repository for this. But it should have still. Okay. So let's go into our stream card game and do a git status. No. Typing is hard. Okay, so yeah, here we are. We have so Git is a version control, very good, but yeah, it still basically has now here initialized. I just haven't set up any Git config, so we can do that too. We're just gonna let me shortly check off screen because I'm not sure if I'm logged in GitHub. So okay, I'm not. I'm gonna I have to check if it's safe to use my GitHub account. Or if we need a new account. 1 second. The GitHub. So generally, right? If you wanna be one of the cool kids too, you can just make a GitHub account and you can post your own repositories there. Okay, let me see if there is anything on my profile that I would be worried about. No, that is fine. This is fine. I maybe want to delete those, but that's all fine. Okay. Okay, so there we go. GitHub. Did I just scare the birds with my little noises? That amateur, no way. So yeah, this is me. Hi chat. You can actually see here my repositories. Most of them are very old, so actually this one is updated 2023, but yeah, 2020. So at some point a few years ago, I had to remake Xenoblade Org, or not remake. So I'll show you really quick, right? So Xenoblade Org here is a German website which contains like all the information on Xenoblade Chronicles 1. It's German, so not very helpful for people that aren't German, right? But this is a very old website. Originally, I did this website when Xenoblade Chronicles 1 released, which was like 2012. And it was a very cringe, by the way. I was in my apprenticeship, so it was a WordPress website with a WordPress plugin to put in all this data, right? Like you could add monsters, you could add items, right? It was WordPress plugin based, okay? Obviously, with the years, like new PHP versions released, etc. And this thing was a massive security risk. So eventually I went and I rebuilt this website as a static export. So when you look at this repository, it is a Symfony application, a backend application. And you can even see here the static output. So it then dumps a static output, and basically what you're seeing today here is literally just static HTMLs. There is no PHP anymore, no WordPress, nothing. But yeah, pretty cool. And I'm just saying that because like generally this is like a kind of neat way if you have like some old worrying PHP projects, you know. You can rebuild it. You can like I am a big Symfony fan. You may think about PHP what you want, but Symfony is a great framework. And there is actually, am I mentioning it here what it is? No, but there is basically, this is a bundle I found, dump static site, and this is a neat solution basically to get rid of old PHP websites. You know, make a static dump, and then you just host the static dump. Very nice. Well, anyways, we wanna make a new repository, which we call wait, I did it again. Stream card game. Absolutely will finish this and will be a great game, right? We had hour-long conversations about Symfony. I know I've mentioned it in the past. I do not remember if we had hour-long conversations about it. Is WordPress nice? No, it's not. No, do not. Sleepy, you're young and innocent. You never had to live in the era of like WordPress, Drupal, Joomla, and Typo 3 websites. I'm so happy that era is over. If you have a choice, stay away and never look back. But yeah, wait, I actually... No, I do not. Don't need to add a README file. I don't know, we're just... Alright. Yeah, please do. Please do. Okay, wait, I might have to add my SSH key actually. So, not just might. So to, an SSH key allows you, like you're adding an SSH key to your GitHub account to be able to push and pull the code without having to like provide your login credentials all the time, right? So because that would be annoying, like every time you wanna upload your code or your changes, right? You wouldn't wanna like have to provide login data. So for that we do SSH keygen, I believe. Oh, okay, it's a minus instead, SSH keygen. We can just do enter and enter and enter, and there we go. And then after that, I'm not gonna show the key on stream, but just if you're wondering where it is here in this folder. And if you look, you have here the pub. And the content of this pub file is your key, okay? So I'm actually gonna do that off stream. I'm gonna do a cat, C-A-T, space, and then the name of the file, and you can use tab to autocomplete. That shows the content, and then wow, that is a very short key. Now I'm wondering if this is the right format, and yeah, I'm gonna add the key to my But yeah, this I'm doing, you know, out of your sights. And let's see, does that, okay. All right, so I've added the key, and I'll just close down this tab and open a new one. All right. And I'm sorry. There we go. It's back. Do you also think that desktop Git clients are pretty useless nowadays? Oh, 100%, 100%. I know, like, I know that, like, funnily, the current project I'm on, they are using GitKraken. And I think years ago, I did have GitKraken installed for, like, a hot second or so. But generally, yeah, I'm not a fan of Git clients. Well, look at the title. It is Windows Setup for Web Dev. And I said this from the start, that there might not be too much code today yet, right? But yeah. That being said, though, I do like to use the built-in PHP Storm stuff for Git. You know, for merging and stuff, but generally, yeah, I do not use any extra client for it. Okay, so now that we've added the SSH key to my profile, you know, we can now do this. We can use this command to add it as an origin. First, we gotta go into our project directory. I did not mean to. There we go. Okay, now we've added that as an origin. And now we're pushing to that. Oh. On branch main. Failed to push some refs. Here comes the noob. Wait a second. But the repository is empty. Yeah, it is empty. Rename main to master to fight the Vogue. True that. Yeah, I'm a bit confused why it allowed me to. Okay, wait. Git fetch all just to see if maybe I had to do that. No. Okay. Oh wait, I'm stupid. Oh. Okay. The problem is, wait, no, it does say it is to be committed. But yeah, I haven't committed yet. Okay, we haven't committed yet, so there's nothing to push. Okay. There's nothing to push because we haven't committed yet. So we're gonna set up our project here. I've actually never done it this way. I'm curious to see, like, you can, like, technically also, like, you don't have to set up the project as, like, via WSL instance. You can also just oh no, I did not mean to, not now, no, go away. You can technically always just, you know, copy this path and initiate the project like this. That works too. I've done that in the past. But you know, we'll try this new fancy way in PHP Storm. See how that goes. There we go. Wait, download IDE. Not sure. Yeah, I think this is actually for completely remote. I think this is... Do you have advice on the step for people with commitment issues? Control C, 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 C. There is so many devs with commitment issues. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But yeah, I'm committed now to see what happens. Okay, cool. Okay, sure. Okay, so what's the difference now? Because you can also do this, by the way, like I've done this before, right? Where I just go here, and then I just go here, and then I just go here. You know, I've done this before. Oh wait, no. Wait, no, don't open. No. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, create from existing sources. Okay, we now need to compare, chat, what the difference is. So what's the... Is this... is this like for like if the project is actually not local but inside network? Wait, I need to PHP Storm. This was PHP Storm EAP, right? Early access program. Oh, I see. Remote DSL. Oh. Okay, wait, let's look here. I'm just wondering because like as I said, like this works too, right? We don't have to do this. In fact, why is it not showing the folders? Why is it not showing the folders, chat? It is not showing the folders in the remote version. I wonder if the idea is for this for if it's actually running on a remote server. Let's see here. Install PHP directly on the VSL2 Ubuntu and use it as graphical application. So yeah, this is, I think this is what we just did. So it installed PHP Storm on our WSL. People are saying that this is more performant. That is fine, Sleepy. It's basically, we have two different ways of doing this, but also, why are we not seeing... The funny thing is also that in our remote version currently, no, I don't care about node modules. In our remote version currently, the folders aren't shown for some reason. php storm remote WSL folders hidden. Yeah, it's like just not showing. Reload. It's very weird. Let me. You were to choose close the JetBrains client. Do you also want to stop the IDE backend or keep it running on the host? We're gonna close and stop. And let's see if we have it under recent. We do not. Wait, how do I? I mean, we could just go with what we have here right now, right? But also really important. So I hate this view. They introduced this view a while ago for commits. So let me fix that really quick. Version control, commit, this apply, okay. And now we have down here, which you actually can't see, we have down here this icon and we can see here our commits, right? You know what, I will just, we'll just go with this for now. And we'll just call this our initial commit, and we're gonna commit it, and we're sad because it did not. Basically, it's asking for credentials, which means it is not using SSH, which I thought we had. Oh, I know why. I added our, so basically what happened is I added our Windows subsystem. I added the SSH key of that one, so that one could commit and push, right? But I did not add the SSH key of my Windows, so when I'm trying now to commit and push via PHP Storm, then it won't be recognized, basically. So I have to add my Windows SSH key to my GitHub account as well. You like the new commits? I think it's awful. I like looking at the differences and jumping through like this. I think it's awful. But yeah, anyways, let me so for that, I will have to actually do a keygen under Windows as well. I think it's actually the same under Windows. Sure. Okay, done. Now again, I won't show you the key, but I will. I have shown you how it is created. And same as before, well, that I can actually show you. Same as before, you use the little wavy, and then we look inside here. Oh yeah, LA is not a Windows PowerShell thing, and we see here is the file. I don't actually know. Can I cut on Windows? I think I can. Yes, I can. Okay. All right. I have grabbed my key and closed the window, and now I just need to add it to my GitHub account. If you're wondering, it is, you click on your little user icon, and then you click on settings, and then there is a point under access called SSH and GPG keys. And you go there and then you click new SSH key and you just paste the value and say add key. And that's what I just did. And now I'll go back to our repository and bring back the window. We can actually start working in our intended design. And now we can try again. So actually I'm surprised the commit didn't work. Oh wait, this is just the this is just my I actually totally overlooked this. This is wasn't even the push. This was just my Git user settings. Sure. I do need an email. God damn it. Don't do me like that. Okay, what email am I gonna use? I need a throwaway for stream coding. 1 second, chat. I'll sort this out really quick. Shit, am I doxing myself if I'm entering an email here? I don't even know. Like, is this TOS entering my own email here? I mean, the email doesn't matter, right? So I'm just getting a throwaway email. All right, there we go. It's analyzing the code. But we might try that remote mode again. It did sound like the performance is better if you try the remote mode, especially now seeing this, how long this is taking. Apes! There is actually a PowerShell here. But no, the first thing we did today, Apes, was install Windows Subsystem for Linux, so we don't have to use PowerShell. But yeah, a beautiful evening to you, Apes. That took long, but might be just the initial indexing. Now we're gonna commit. In PHP Storm, it's as Control-Shift-K. I'm looking like, I guess if you, it's probably here, yeah, here, push. And if you're in Visual Code, you wanna look out for this icon, right? This icon here is an indicator usually for version control. I know Visual Studio Code has support for Git as well, right? And now we're gonna push. And this should now work. Yes, it says pushed, and since it's pushed, now we can check here. We can, and now we can see that our initial Angular app is now pushed onto GitHub and available here. And I'm actually even gonna share the link. There isn't much there yet. We haven't, like, this is just a demo application, right? We haven't actually done any of our own code, but yeah, you can now check here. Like, this README here is default README too, right? And yeah, but yay, chat. We can do a story point poker. Wait, can you write tickets with story points for the real immersive dev experience? I actually had a crazy idea. I'm not even sure I want to tell the idea because I feel like there is a meme potential here to actually do that idea. But I had a crazy idea in that direction, Sleepy. I had a crazy idea. Let's, but yeah, okay, no, I will tell it. I will tell it. I don't think even like it doesn't even matter, right? Like the reason I don't want to tell it is not because like, ooh, this is this great idea that nobody ever knows. It's just like when I speak the idea, then I'm already less excited to do it, right? So that's why I'm like considering to hold back on it, because it could be like a funny thing. So, but basically I had this idea that if we make this stream card game, right? What if you had community-driven balancing, right? A perfect like like just imagine that like people can like complain about cards, right? Whenever they play, they can like click on cards where they think this card needs changes, right? And then maybe you have an AI that comes up with reasonable changes, and then the players can vote on those changes, and those changes are just being done real time. And then you would have like just this perfect shit show of like players getting immediately what they want. Like, you know, and we all know the game would be shit because the majority of people don't actually know about like what's fun, right, for the game. But I think it would be just such a fun social experiment to see but what kind of balance players would create. Yeah, mid-game, yes. Yeah, exactly. Real time changes would happen, yes. I think that would be hilarious. I think that would be fucking hilarious. And it would become a mechanic of the game too, right? Instrumentalizing like your community to make changes to the game. I think that would be just so hilarious. I don't know. I feel like that would be like a fun experience, and maybe it's not actually like online, but you can like maybe it's a sort of Twitch game, right? That you can share with people and play together from scratch, you know? You can like, you know, kind of like that, like instead of making it this eternal like online experience, you know? But yeah, I thought about that, and I thought it would be like such a cool social experiment, basically. But yeah, we'll see. Listen, we haven't even written a line of code yet, right? But yeah, that's kind of like an idea I had, and who knows, maybe one day I'll do it. And I'll let you all ruin your own game. Troll armies already beginning to form, exactly. I feel like I'm not equipped to hold that kind of power. Well, Sleepy, that is clearly a loser feeling in that kind of game. L attitude. But yeah, all right, we have our Angular app, and actually, in fact, right, I told you that this is the default README that comes with it, and it even tells you now, hey, if you want to start your local development server, run, you know, ngserve. So we can now, in our folder, do that, do an ngserve, and now it's telling us, oh yeah, I'm running on localhost 4200, and ba-ba, here is our Angular app. That wasn't too bad, right? I'm really salty about anything that isn't incredibly random. I just removed the word random from all cards. But the charm, like the whole diversity of card games is from its randomness, right? Even if you remove the word random from every card, the randomness is still in you drawing your cards in different orders, right? Like that is the point of card games. Otherwise, you should just play chess. But yeah, now, you know, that we have like our little Angular app here. we can like start actually looking at our app. And generally you will find all the actual code, like the actual application, you'll find it in source. And you can see here in app, it has made like this first app component, and app component HTML is the template. So if we look in here, there's some styles and shit right at the top. By the way, this is like something that's kind of like low-key upsetting, right? Is that this is like dog shit, okay? Like even the demo component they generate, they can't be asked to just put it properly into the because styles would be supposed to go into this file, right? But instead you have this like blown up HTML that has the style here inline at the top, which is already like really ugly. Anyways, and it's the same with a lot of Angular tutorials. A lot of Angular tutorials show you actually bad practices, right? But yeah, yeah, exactly. Inline CSS is like, but you know, I don't care. It's just CSS, you know. Anyways, we can now look for actually the this Hello Stream card game. So we search for hello, and then we see here, oh, hello. Okay, and then we can change that to hi, and it should change, yeah, real time, right? It's like, this is via WebSocket, so if you change inside your IDE and save, it will immediately change here too. And now you might wonder, okay, what's, you know, where is this title actually coming from, right? And for that, we look into the component, and we can see here there is a variable. So when you go into the TS, which is the TypeScript file, this is where you find the actual like logic behind a component. And public properties inside the component are available inside the template. We can also see here that the template URL is actually described here, right? So we can change this too to hi Twitch, you know, and now it says hi Twitch. Yeah, that is usually the step 1 too, Sleepy, to just delete all of this. But, you know, I want to show a little bit for those people that actually have never done anything with this, right? To kind of show like how how cool actually like and quick you can like get something going here, right? Even if you have no clue, right? Now this here is HTML. I will let Apes make the HTML joke. In all honesty, in this day and age, you don't really need to learn HTML because like nobody cares. Like there is technically a lot of like cool tags you can use, but the reality is nobody cares, and the tools have adapted to us just nesting hundreds and thousands of diffs, and you know, we still need to template, and the general like markup looks like this for templating. These are called tags here, you know, between these little pointy brackets, and you can see here, let's take a good here, you know, the tag starts and the tag ends, and it ends when you use a slash, and you can also have a tag end immediately. Let's see, do we have an example for that? Yeah, here. The slash comes right at the end, so that means this has no content and it just ends in this one line. And that's really all you need to know. That is all you need to know, that these are tags, and the browser renders this from top to bottom. Changing server port to 1337. I'll do that when I like next time with a lead mate join us, with a lead mate in hand, right? But yeah, first things first, let's get rid of all this inline style here, you know. And now we can see, man, this looks kind of ugly, right? But it's fine. In fact, let's get rid of all of this. And now we have a white side. And to make our lives easier, I do want to use Angular Material. Yeah, it's complaining actually now that there's this router outlet, which we aren't actually using. So we can remove that. And I think we do have to, I actually don't remember if Angular Material is installed by default or not. Is it? Let's see. Okay. For this, I'm pressing Control C, which will stop the web server. So also now that the web server is stopped, if we reload, there will be nothing here anymore. And we'll do ng add Angular Material. Yes. And now we can choose chat. Do you have any favorite colors here? Azure blue, rose red, magenta violet, cyan orange, custom. No custom chat. We're lazy. Magenta violet for Twitch chat. Or Azure blue. Blue? I don't think there is really light blue, but we can go with Azure blue. All right. Set up global Angular typography styles. Oh, why not? Yeah. Give it all to us. Include and enable animations. Sure. Just everything. This is also important for me to point out. Like, we'll not care about what it looks like for a long time, right? All right, and now we serve again. And now if we reload this, we are back to our white side. And you know, when you use Angular Material, it comes with a lot of like nice components you can easily like use without really. There's also like grid to, you know, make up a layout, which we might actually use for our cards. You can always streamline it later, yeah, for sure. Okay, so we don't use the title anymore. First things first, when you start out as a new developer, you'll be easily tricked into just doing everything in here, right? Because you're like, oh my god, you know, like you don't even know how to make new components or whatsoever. But and this is why I will show you with the Angular CLI, you can actually generate components. Are we gonna do chat votes for variable names? That is some evil shit. So this is wait, no, G. So basically ng is always to use Angular stuff, right? And then G is for generate, but you don't have to write it full, and generate, and then component C. And then you say like, what is the name of my component, right? And you know what? Our new component will be God, I forgot actually. Wait, Angular generate component. No, snake case, right? Yeah, I don't remember. There was something weird where you have like oh, I forgot that. Wait, maybe I'm best suited to be in the center of the screen. What do you guys think? Also, again, like, don't be shy to like ask questions, even like if you like missed like, you know, the whole start of it, you know, just, you know, ask away. Don't be shy. This is just a fun little thing you know, that we're doing together and as a learning opportunity for everyone. For me, once we get more into like the running the game parts. Okay, but yeah, this is maybe better so you can see what's going on down here. So the when I use single to generate components, the command name it generates components folder and other files such as yes. Okay, no, this is correct. Okay, good. But yeah, we will start maybe just with the... Actually, you know, before we do that, I do like to also just like do some, you know, directory structure, decent directory structure from the start, right? So, we will do it under app. It's just easier this way, and then we will do it. You know, we'll do a directory which we'll just call views, basically. So this is like, for example, the main menu, then maybe the view in which we fight a player, right? So we'll just call it views. But also I do like this basically as a like very, you know, features. So views are really just the view, and then inside the views are features, or you could call features also components. It doesn't really matter. All right, and we wanna generate a component inside views, which we call start menu. All right, and now if we check here, we now have our new component here, right? We could enterpriseify the... Yeah, it's really difficult for me. I'm trying to like not go too hard on this, right? So I'm trying to like go with something that's still relatively simple, right? Where we're like, okay, let's have views, right? But not, I don't want to throw it all into one directory either, like how you usually would kind of like end up doing it if it's your first time, right? All right, so you can see now those files are red, and you might wonder why is that? The reason is because they are not added to Git. So basically, whenever you create new files, Git will not automatically add them to the commit. All blue files means those are changed files that you could commit to the repository. If we want to add those in PHP Storm, you just press Control Alt A. But I think there's an alternative way where you kind of like do it here. But yeah, we've now added those files. I also actually forgot totally to check when we pushed whether we've pushed any weird files, because I probably should have. Yeah, technically the VS Code wouldn't have been necessarily something we would have pushed, but it's fine. Generally, you want to keep stuff out of the commit or out of the repository that is like locally specific, and this is locally specific. But it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. Yeah. The folder, but like generally git ignore, like this is the git ignore. In this file you have everything that will not be pushed to the repository, like filters basically, and you can see that it will always have the node modules. This you definitely is the last thing you want to push, and yeah, it has like just some default things in here. Idea is the folder that PHP Storm and IntelliJ create to have like their local settings and things. So yeah, it has by default a lot of things covered. These are Mac OS files, right? But you can always extend this. The git ignore isn't optimized. Okay, Sleepy, are you the kind of person, if you fucked up the initial commit, do you delete the repository and go again? Or do you fix the... Another option? Wait, actually there's 3 options. Option number 1, delete the repository, go again. Option number 2, amend the commit, like overwrite, like rewrite git history. Option number 2, just live with it and make a new commit. What do you do? Depends on how fucked it is, but I'm super down to delete the repository. So here's the funny thing, right? I think actually deleting the repository is the right choice if you like, I mean, you've just started, right? It's not a big deal, right? So that's the logic by deleting the repository at this step is a good choice, right? But I'm the person, I'm gonna like punish myself for making this mistake by rewriting git history. I'll make a new initial commit and I will amend it and I will, I will just rewrite history until history looks good. That's me. Extra punishment for fucking up. But yeah, but you are right that generally you should just delete and do it again. But yeah. Anyways, we have now our start menu component, and our app component will basically just be a wrapper. We actually want our router outlet. And you see here, very, very convenient that my IDE, I'm going a little bit too fast actually for people who don't know about this, but basically my IDE was like, hey, do you want to import? And I was like, yeah. And you might wonder now, where did it actually import? It imported inside the app component. So you can see here now the router outlet is imported here and is defined here as well for the component. And you might wonder, what is the router outlet? Basically, if we're defining like a routing for the app, like, hey, under this path, we see the menu. Under this path, we see settings. Under this path, we see this and that, right? The router outlet will just exactly show what is supposed to be under that path. That's not the face hunter mentality. You lack the critical efficiency skill taught by finished games on turn 5 and conceding on turn 3. Now, for the router outlet to do something, we need to configure the routing, and we have here a file called app routes.ts. And now I actually have to Google myself how we do this again. Angular routes config. So, this will never change. You will always keep Googling these things over and over. Wait a second. Import new routes into app and add it to the... Wait, app config ts. Oh shit. Yeah, that is already in here, actually. But this is kind of new that this is in here by default, but that's very cool. So, okay, we don't need to do that. We have that as well. Aha, and now we can see here actually what it looks like, right? We're going now into routes. And this is an array with multiple objects, and we're gonna say path start, component start menu component. Now I do think actually we can also just do this potentially. now to see whether we are seeing, oh, okay, so wait, let me see. No, we cannot. Can we just do this? Yeah, okay. So now we've basically defined that the start menu is under just like empty path. I do think we have to do something to say like it's exact. Matcher, path match. Yeah, I think path match full. Because otherwise it will override others, right? We can actually just go here and we will make another component which we'll call settings, okay? Settings. All right, and just to test this, right? And now we make another path here. So this is basically for our URL here, right? We make another path here. And under settings, right, we want our settings component. And now we reload. Nope. And actually I didn't have to reload. And now we test it, settings. Yeah, and now we're getting settings works, right? So because the settings component here, right, this is the content settings works. So this is already working. Very nice. Here's our start menu. And here is our settings. Great, right? Again, we have here the files being read because they haven't been added to Git. You can actually find them here and also just say add to, no, we don't want to add them to ignore. We want to instead add them to the version control. VCS is an abbreviation for version control system, right? And now we have our settings too, right? And we can play around a little bit inside the start menu. Our start menu should probably have like a button that leads to the settings, right? And we can even decide for it to be a fancy Angular material button. I'm sure I'll find the buttons. There we go, button. All right, and let's just go for shall we go for a nice raised button? You can always click here to see the code, right? And then we see here the button for the raised. This is just the label, right? And here is the actual raised button. So we're just gonna copy this and put it here, and it will complain that we need to import material button. Now, this is again a nice thing that works in PHP Storm out of the box because we have the Angular plugin. But I think when you work with Visual Studio Code, which is free, there is Angular plugins too, so it should behave similarly. And we'll call this button settings, all right? And now we save, and now we don't see a button. That is very sad. Oh, because we're on settings, yeah. All right, there we go. We have now a button, settings. Dark mode on default, please. Wait a second, I mean, I don't know, this is material Angular IO. Oh. Oh, nice. Okay. Never mind. Okay, cool. Or, I mean, our app is very bright. Our app is very bright. We should have just went with the cyan. You wanted the light blue, okay? You wanted this. You chose this. There is also, I think it's just color. Yeah, so you can do this, and then you can do like primary. No, is that not? I regret, yeah. Look at this nice magenta cyan dark theme. Wait, wasn't this? Look at the beautiful buttons we would have had. Crazy. Crazy. Wait, if we look at the flat button. There. I guess the race just doesn't come with accent. Actually, I don't know even if it's like that difficult to change. Wait, let's see. Angular change default. Wait, Angular material change default theme. Let's see. Huh. No, it's not here. I don't actually know where it put the... Like, because we have a default theme, right? Wait, if I search for Azure... Oh, there. Aha! Okay, now we just need to figure out what the hell the... was it magenta cyan? I think it was magenta cyan. Magenta cyan. And... there was a second bit. There. Alright, let's see if this works. Or if we, like, we might not even have this, but I hope, I guess they're just all laying there in the package, hopefully. Okay, let's see. I might have to restart the server though. Yeah, I probably have to restart the server. Whenever, like, because this is actual, like, Angular config, so in this case we have to restart the server. Oh. Could not resolve! Ah, shit. Okay, wait, let's check. So this should be under Angular, material, pre-built themes. Pre-built themes. Okay, there we go. Oh wait, it was magenta violet. Okay, magenta violet. Alright. Very important that we fix this. Magenta violet. Alright, try again. What have I done? I think our background will probably still be bright, unless it does automatically style the app root too. I don't think this actually worked. Let's see. Okay, nice. Okay, we have our button now. Wait, but this is in dark mode. How do I swap to the dark mode? Wait, okay. Angular material dark mode. How do I enable dark mode? Would I enable dark mode? Aha. Wait, but do we really? Okay, wait a second. So, before v19, okay, but yeah, no, that's not a, needs to have a, yeah, this has changed, needs to have a ZAS theme file that includes mix-in, okay. It says a ZAS theme file. Then it says what is supposed to be in that file, but it doesn't actually say, do I just put this into, because this looks actually like it could work inside ZAS. So do I just put this into the, like, look, I'm learning too. I am learning too. Do I just put this here? Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Oh, that's cool. You used to have to make like an actual like theme file. Okay, let's just, you know, just be like, haha, dark. Okay, and then I did expect this to actually, but I guess maybe it didn't work to. You helping a friend who has Angular problems? Send him here. That is pretty funny, but we're not really having Angular problems. We're learning new things about Angular material. Wait, where was it? Was it here? No, it was here. Color map. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, this doesn't really, I don't know. Yeah, this doesn't actually matter for our main thing. I just do wonder. Ah, theme type. There we go. Oh. Theme type dark. There we go. This should work, hopefully. At least I thought. God damn it. Okay, we can check here. Oh, actually, I think our shit wasn't applied. Yeah, because we said here the body should have a background color, but it's not applied, so I'm not sure this even worked. It leads to anger problems. Wait, maybe this should be in the styles thus actually. Because the styles thus is global. Yeah, it should be. I'm a Dumbo. This should be in here. And this should be at the top because the applications thus is not actually global. I think the styles thus is. Oh, look at that. Crazy. But then now why is the stupid button? Wait a second. Oh, I guess it looks like that here too. Okay, then I guess we want a stroked button, eh? Or a flat button. Let's go for the flat button. Alright, flat button. Flat, 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 flat. There it is. Matte flat button. Alright, finally our eyes can rest, chat. And now we look here and beautiful. Wait, but this is not, oh wait, it's a different, right, we're all on a different theme. Our eyes are finally saved. Worth it, right, Doinus? Worth it. Absolutely worth it. Alright, and now obviously we have the settings button and it kind of does nothing, right? And we're like, what the fuck? Right? Broken app, what the fuck? And if we want this to actually do something, we're gonna go into the TypeScript file. And we can create here a function which we're just gonna call on settings button click. That's gonna be void. That means it's not gonna return anything. And now to navigate to our settings page, I wonder, I think, let me check. So usually to add services, you do this. But I think this has actually changed. So let me check really quick, though it might just be injection tokens. Angular 19. Inject service. Okay, here we are. Creating and injecting service. Injecting services. Okay, no, it's still the same. Okay, never mind. It's still the same. We're good. We're good. Okay, so basically, if you want to have a service in Angular in your component, all you do is you make a constructor. A constructor is a function that is executed whenever the component is created. And we can now see here the router was right, and now we have the router. And now we can say here this router. Huh? No? Am I stupid? Oh, I guess, yeah, okay, I guess we still have to be like private router. Wait, do we really? I feel like this was automatic, but hey, yeah, no, this wasn't necessary. Right, let me see. I'm pretty sure this wasn't necessary. Constructor, hero service, Oh, I'm missing the private. Yeah. Yeah, now it works. All right, navigate. Private means this router is available here inside this component, but it's not available in the template, which you also do not want to have it available there. Public stuff is available, and we can already in fact take our function here, go to the HTML, and we just do this, click, and that didn't exactly end up how I wanted it. All right, and now on click, this function will be called, and navigate, I mean, I think we just do it like this, or is it an array? I'm actually, I think like this. All right, let's try this. We won't gonna get kind of sleepy. This is the perfect program for you to fall asleep. Okay, now look at it, it works. And now we're in settings, right? With our nice little navigation. Now, there is one thing here where you're kind of like, you know, what if further down the line, this changes? Like, you want to have it for some reason be under a different URL, or you know, the name changes. It can get really annoying if you then have to go like through all your components and change this here, right? So usually you would in the least do something like where you we're gonna keep this simple, right? But actually, do we use an enum for this? We could technically use an enum. So we're gonna say export enum routes. And wait, is it? Yeah, no, it's like this. Yes. And then we will have settings equals settings. And you might be like, what's the point of this? Why are you complaining? Is it because of the same name? Oh yeah. Okay. Technically, this doesn't have to be an enum. It's, well, it's whatever. But basically, now instead of using the string here, we use route.settings, and we use the same thing in our start menu component. And the point of that is that if you ever end up wanting to change this, you only have to change the string here, and you don't have to go through your component and change that everywhere, right? Because it's just a reference here. Enum is not necessarily here the best choice. Usually, like in more grown projects, we actually make whole like route objects, like where we're like, you know, basically we could also call it paths, like export paths, and then wait, then a path has a name, and in this case that's settings, and you know, and then maybe we triple T, massive. Maybe we even do like a go to here, right? There's like, you know, you can make this more complicated, but in this case, we'll just do this. I just want to point this out, that generally it's a good idea to extract strings and not have them live in your components, so that you have one point in your application where you would change that if you wanted to change it. Okay, so we can now actually just really quickly, you know, take the same button here, and instead we call this button just back, right? And obviously it's now red because our settings component doesn't have this function, and that's fine. We don't even want that function. We want instead public on back button click, and again this function doesn't return anything, and again we want oh, interesting, our router. And this time, instead of navigating to the menu, we want to do a router back. And now we're copying this and we're going here. All right. Oh, now it's complaining that router is implicitly any type, because yeah, that's true. I did not define it here. And it can't actually even import this without us defining it here. And also, this is not a thing. Go. How do we go back? I know there is a go back. Let's check. Angular router go back. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair. We're not actually using, okay, we're not actually using the router for that. So it's going to be location. You can see here this person likes to use underscore for all their private properties. I'm not a fan of that. All right. And now, when we go to settings and we go back, we can keep going back and forth between these two. Very nice. Very nice indeed. And maybe on our start menu page, we want to add another button, which is play, our play button. Very beautiful. And actually it's kind of time that I kind of think about what we want to tackle first. Let's just generate another component, which we're gonna call view play. All right, beautiful. We still haven't actually written all that much code. We just installed things. We're just using, you know, we're just using the CLI. And now for our play, obviously inside our start menu component. By the way, if you felt like, it's kind of annoying to do all these different little functions here, you know, we're now calling this one on play button click, right? And we're adding also another here. I'll show you in a second what I mean, but basically, if you were to get annoyed by adding all these little functions here to your component, you could also do a public navigate technically, and then have that function have a parameter like where to string I personally do not want to do that, but you know, basically you would then inside the HTML define where you want to go. If it's really a lot, you can do that. Personally, like for just a few, I like to keep that inside the component. And that was your first impulse. Your first impulse was to make a navigate function. I get that impulse, right? But I think, okay, so when I started out coding, I had a very strong impulse to make everything generic, right? Wrap everything, make everything generic, and basically reduce everything down to as little code as I possibly can, right? That was my impulse too when I started out coding. But over the years, when you work with many developers, you really learn to appreciate explicitity, I guess, explicitity. The problem with like making things generic that really don't need to be generic is like that you create all these like bottlenecks, right? Like for example, like in this case is kind of harmless, right? So for example, I create a function here which I call like public, navigate, right? To. So let's do that. What I just, let's call it test, right? Void, all right. And it instead just navigates to whatever is given here, right? We'll ignore concerns about the fact that, you know, this is coming from the template and, you know, what security concerns there might be. But basically, right, this would be the function, right? And then if we wanted to use this instead, we would just do this, right? And then we would say here instead, wait, what was it called again? Right? We would do this instead here inside the template, right? Now, first of all, I'm not a big fan of having this inside the template, right? But I'm not saying this is generally wrong. Like, you will have templates where you have these things because it's just easier at the end of the day, right? But secondarily is like the problem starts basically once we get like edge, like not just edge cases, right? We now have this instead, right? Nice. We have only one function for both, right? But now in 2 months, you know, a ticket comes in and they say, hey, when navigating to settings, right? When navigating to settings, we want, before the user is sent to settings, we want to show a dialog, right? Yeah, Doinus, I agree. We grew up in a world where we wanted everything generic, right? But like when you start developing applications over a long time, you really realize that having full freedom at every point is usually more beneficial, right? Obviously, this doesn't mean you want like to have like hundreds of lines of boilerplate, right? You still want to optimize, but you always need, like, in my opinion, you always want to really evaluate more so when making things generic than the other way around, right? Because yeah, like in a month somebody comes to you and they're like, oh, okay, but if you navigate here to settings, then I wanna open a dialog, right? And the worst way to solve this, right? But this is literally what developers will do, right? And it's important here to understand that the reason this is bad is not because it's not manageable. It would be manageable. It's more like what follows, right? So developer in 2 months gets a ticket to which says open dialog when going to settings, right? What will that developer do? He will go, you know, if dest equals route settings, open dialog, else, you know, open dialog and navigate, right? This is what will happen. And you have this in so many cases in your applications that have developed over years, where you have like these generic bottlenecks where over years many different developers have just stockpiled their niche cases into this bottleneck instead of like splitting it up, you know? And this is why I would be careful. And like, again, this is not because it's necessarily bad to aggregate this into one function. It's more like the consequences of it, right? That over years, developer tend to, instead of like splitting it up again, they just go in here and, you know, write a bazillion if else's, switch cases, whatever, right? And all of a sudden you have this horror function, right, that manages like 100 different edge cases. And this is why generally I'm a fan of keeping it explicit if it's not too much, right? There's always a point at which it's too much, 100%. But for as long as you don't really need it, you know. And another plus side again is that I'm not a big fan of having these constants here, and in general having you're kind of like giving the template a direct path to the navigation, right? Which isn't like all that bad. It's just a navigate on your browser, right? But still, but yeah, bad. But of course, if it's a lot, right, you can always wrap it. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying like the consequences that happen often in big applications from doing it. And this way, right, the way we have it here, we don't even like not just do we have it explicit, we don't even define at this point in time what this button does, right? We've named the function on play button click, right? So another person might go and might have named this navigate to play, right? Or navigate to settings. But I, on purpose, do not name the function based on what it does right now, but just name it based on the event that is happening. Because that way, if later I decide something else is supposed to happen when I click this button, right, the function name doesn't like clash with that, right? Like I like to basically like these event handlers functions, I just like to name them based on what the event is. So basically I do not like if a function tries to define the what is that in English? The requirement, basically the business requirements. Since I had fun playing around with Godot, learned to appreciate to be more explicit because game logic gets, yes, exactly, Doinus. And I think I've had the same experience with like just applications that have been developed for many, many years by many, many teams, right? I've had the same experience there that like generic stuff can be beautiful. Don't get me wrong, right? I actually built for a project I had, I built a very generic it was Angular too, because they wanted Angular, but basically inside Angular, because Angular forms and also like other form frameworks didn't like exactly fulfill what they wanted, I basically built kind of a form framework on top of Angular forms, right? It still was using Angular forms and you would use it like Angular forms, but basically it extended Angular forms, right? And the main functionality it was bringing was that it would generate forms out of models. Just how when you use Symfony, right, you can do annotations, right, and get a form out of a model. That same functionality I built for Angular, right? And also with decorators. Decorators are kind of like annotations, right? And this is a decorator here, this add component. The problem is with decorators in TypeScript, they only run at runtime. You can still use TypeScript inside your decorators. It is still like, that's not the problem, right? The problem is rather that you don't have type safety in them. But yeah, I basically used decorators as well for that. And you would put these decorators on fields of your model to say like, oh, this is a text input, you know, and it was to auto-generate these forms. But again, this kind of like falls apart when the requirements become too specific, right? And so this is only like a good solution if your goal is just to pump out, and that was their goal. Their goal was to just quickly pump out forms, right, for all kinds of data models. It wasn't about like creating like very specific, beautiful, perfect UI forms, right? It was just about pumping out forms very quickly. 100%, Doinus, 100%. But yeah, that was a nice little side thingy. All right, our play component. Okay. Let's see if we maybe want to use the grid. I don't even know if grid list is what I want. Let's see, what does this look like? Oh, interesting. So I think first of all, we have kind of like 3 rows. We have like an enemy player row. We have the, so I actually, yeah, we have the enemy player row, enemy item row, our item row, our player row, right? 4 rows. My idea, by the way, was to go for something similar. Please don't sue me, like Bazaar. Don't worry, I'm not making a game to sell here. It's more or less just a prototype and seeing how you could do it in Angular. But yeah, basically my idea is to go for something similar, like with items. Mango. Calming the beast. Shh, chat. Don't be loud, chat. He's almost asleep. Alright, this works every time. Okay, shh. So we want 4 rows. When a simple if-else solves your edge case, it makes more sense to use that instead of rewrite your generic for even. Yeah, for sure. I 100% Doinus, 100%. It's you know, the problem is that like we developers always strive to remove code, basically, right? That's always what we want. But sometimes it's just not, like, not just sometimes, often it's just not good. Like another example I have is that in many apps I see top level solutions for like you know, error management and stuff, right? And you can have a top, don't get me wrong, you want to have a top level solution, but you also want to allow like your components to react to those individually, right? Like I've had an example in an application where like they had an interceptor. In Angular there's interceptors, HTTP interceptors. It's basically a little component you can attach to requests, right? And you can react and do things based on what happens with that request, what comes back from the request, right? And they had like an interceptor that would basically catch all the different errors and show a notification, right, in the app for those different errors. Now, that is all fine and good, but the problem was that they then had requirements basically for some components to like do certain things based on a certain error code that was coming back, and that was kind of like impossible at that point because that interceptor was also throwing an error it would not recognize, right? And like this is like I've explained it in a very simplified way that interceptor was doing a lot, right? It was a massive interceptor doing a lot of different things, but the gist of it is it was the interceptor was trying to do everything, and hence the components wouldn't get the error back anymore and wouldn't be able to react to it, right? And you can have top level stuff, sure, but in my experience, like with like how specific at the end applications end up being, right? You always want the stuff to be returned back down to the component, so the component can also decide, like, again, like you will have like this little fringe case, right? And you don't want to change your behemoth at the top, right, to just to implement that little fringe case. It's always, yeah. Alrighty, let me actually see. So I don't actually think we need the grid for this. I mean, we might need the grid for the items, but I don't even remember. Do we have like general like row, flex row things or something? I don't even remember. Angular material, flex row. I guess not. Oh, that's so much sus. I'm already puking. Angular flex layout. This is archived, okay. I guess then it's out of date. I mean, yeah, I know about CSS Flexbox, but I don't want to write CSS code. No, they're telling us to use CSS, chat. Disgusting. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. That is crazy that they'd force us to use CSS. I just wanna put it on the tag. Well, all right. Okay, we'll have a div here, which is our, and inside that div we have a opponent, and then here we have opponent items, and then here we have our items, and here we have, actually it probably should be me. So H2 is a headline. All right, and now we go to play. Beautiful. Now we probably wanna wrap this whole thing too. And we're gonna call this, give this a class, which we call play wrapper. And then we go into our Sass and play wrapper, and we want this to have display flex grow 1. We want this to have a width of 100. So this is basically, oh, well, we'll see how this goes. This is the viewport, so we're telling it should be full height, full width, and the overflow should be hidden. All right, now you can see that the bar disappeared, and when we go here, we can see that this is in fact now full size. I don't actually know why it's showing a gap there to the right, but yeah, anyways. Now let's call these play row. I hate doing styling. But hopefully it won't be too bad. Okay, and then our play row, and thus we can like wrap it like this. Our play row. Yeah, I think actually the flex grow should be on the play row. Nope. Instead, no. Wait, flex direction row. Why does this not? No? Damn, I thought this would wrap it. Okay, wait, let me see. So I mean, technically we could remove the display flex from this. No, it doesn't even change it. With the wrap, I would have thought it wraps automatically. chat styles. Oh wait, the style isn't here. Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind. The style isn't even here, okay. Wait, why is it not? Are you telling me that the nesting doesn't work? First of all, I forgot this. We always want to wrap our styles in host. Flex never acts as expected. I hate it. I'm so confused. It seems like the nesting doesn't work. Are you telling me that this will work? Play row. How hard can it be? Class play row. I can't be that blind, right? Play row. Play row. I'm like giga confused. Border 1 pixel solid red. It doesn't apply. Wait, what? Nani? I am so confused. So when we look here into the ZAS file, it is here. I mean, there is things that are definitely way better than they used to be with Flex, but there's also some things that, you know, are a bit... But I mean, like overall, you know, Doinus, I remember building templates for Internet Explorer 6, right? Like, so this is really like complaining today, yeah, tables, you know. I remember, no, it was horrid. It was horrid. Like overall, we are living a much better life than we used to. But yeah, I'm extremely confused what's going on here. Play row. Play row. I don't know. Why is this not applying? That is fucking weird. Like I'm feeling like so dumb right now. I'm actually like totally clueless why this like. It does have the class here too. Play row. And when we look into the CSS here, into the ZAS, it is in here too. Wait, is it something silly like cache? Disable cache? Oh my fucking god. I am so freaking upset right now. It showed me the updated ZAS, but probably the CSS, which is the actual compiled result of that ZAS, was cached. Oh my god, this was upsetting. This was very upsetting. Okay. Yeah, nobody likes styling. This is why you want a student on every single of your projects, right? You want a student to do the styling, because like honestly, I also don't even care about the quality of styling code anymore, right? Like that used to matter to me like 15 years ago or so. I mean, no, that's a bit, but you know, already when I started, like finished my education and started as a dev, I didn't care that much about it anymore. All right, so just to confirm, no, it's still not updating. This is so stupid, crazy. Okay, but it works now. It does work now. I finished I did an apprenticeship, right? I never studied informatics. I did an apprenticeship to become, like, it's called application developer for... No. Developer for application development? I don't know. Something like that, okay? It's a German apprenticeship. It's a mix of working for up to 3 years, and then you go 3 to 4 times a year you go to a college. But yeah, I finished that in 2011. So 13 years ago. But I started before I did my apprenticeship, I already worked there. I did my apprenticeship for 3 years. I started my apprenticeship in 2008, and I worked there as a side job next to school the year prior. So 2007, basically, I started coding in a work environment. But obviously, like even after I finished the apprenticeship, I wasn't very good yet. Obviously. But yeah. And my first actual like doing some coding was when I was like 12. I learned a little bit of JavaScript. And in my apprenticeship, I actually learned C#. All right. So, I think that will work. No, we can also actually, like, what I prefer doing if I have to do some styling, instead of like doing it here, I'll just click here and I'll just test it out, and then, you know, whatever works we'll put actually into the IDE. So, and we can actually do this. I love this, right? Little life hack for styling. Now we just like go through and see if any of that moves it to the center, and we realize, no, it doesn't. That's wild. Maybe actually... Had a friend who knew about a game engine based on BASIC. Was my first adventure with coding in like 2002. Oh wow, a game engine in BASIC. It's crazy. I know actually quite a few people that are, you know, that started like with BASIC, doing some scripts from hell. Definitely. I mean, honestly, can we not just the good old... No, it doesn't. It's full size. Line items. No. This is the part where I like, you know, I don't really like online content. I mean, that one we already tried. But this might also be because of... Wait, the flex wrap nowhere probably prevents the line content from having an effect. But I didn't set it to no wrap. Huh. Unless that's part in the Angular material. Okay, no, still not. Whatever. Whatever. Actually, let me see if we put this. Yeah, this one doesn't matter. I thought so. All right, and I guess I will have to learn how to center that with Flex. I missed the go-to functionality just to screw up your code even more. I mean, all modern languages actually do still have a go-to functionality, but it's hidden. Right? It's nothing we use proactively. God, I really do not want to do styling. I'll figure this out. Let's move on. I think we can actually, like, we have some components here, right? Whatever, I've showed a little bit the basic shit, right? Now we can kind of like start thinking about like what we want an item to be like, right? Before I actually even create anything for that, later on we could like create a backend, you know, with a database for it. But we can like be like super simple right now, and you know, actually app config ts. Well, that's specifically application config. Okay, fine. Let's just create a. Actually, I wonder, does ng generate also services? G service? Maybe. We'll see. Features, and we're just gonna call it item service. Oh shit. It does. Crazy. Yeah, I didn't have to actually name it item service now that I think about it. I could have just it already did the thing. Service. Let's rename it. Yes. And here. All right. So later we might build a backend, an API or whatever, right? But for now, we'll just have like a export items. All right, and we'll do a interface for item, and we can think a bit about what an item we want a name. That is a string. And why are you? Oh yeah, it's actually we'll just do the following. Get items, item, return. All right, so we have now here like a getter on the item service. Actually, that doesn't make sense either. We'll just do it like this. And it's a public function. All right. Right now, this could be a static service, right? Because like there isn't actually anything happening here. But you know, I always like to like start like a simple like all the way through basically. So an item has a name. It probably has a an image too, which will be also a string to like the path to the image. Though this one honestly will probably not care about for now. Then if we want it to be like an auto battler, then the item has a sort of like cooldown, right, of how often it goes. And maybe this is activations per second. I don't know. I haven't much thought about it, what makes sense here most, but like maybe we have activations per second, and that is a number. And then maybe we have a description too, totally unimportant text. Oh shit. You solved your friend's Angular router problems? Nice. He had ChatGPT code. I failed to center these, so we've moved on. I had to do CSS. It was gruesome, but I decided to move on and do more interesting things. But yeah, the description is a string too, and we're now thinking about what an item needs, right? And I was saying that I wanna like kind of like do it like an auto battler, right? So we have an item, and it has activations per second, and then it has an. If we're for now assuming that, you know, it will. Every item will have its own code for now, right? Of what it does when it's activated. Then every item has an onActivate, basically, for now. You know, where we're saying like, hey, this is what happens when I activate, right? And we can now, in here, like I said this before, later on we, like right now we're not making a backend, but we might later on, right? For now we keep it simple. And now we create our first item here. We call this item always sleepy. Great, right? Always sleepy. Activations per second. Like if we do a 0.5, then it would activate every 2 seconds, right? We could even call those activations per tick and then decide what the tick is. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, that's you. And then on activate, Sleepy will do a window. I don't even know. I haven't done this in ages. Sleep. Isn't there a window sleep? Wait. We've done this in window sleep. No, that's not what I'm searching for. JS. Is it really just set timeout? Fine, we'll do a Windows set timeout. It could be that I don't have window available here. Windows set timeout. And then since it activates every 2 seconds, this will be 1 second. And then we can actually, I'm already thinking we would probably want our item in here in the onActivate and then, you know, do some things with that. But yeah, for now, like, you know, we have this and then we console log I am awake, right? Okay, and then the description is very sleepy, okay? Prince! Good morning, I guess. How are you? Okay, let's make an item for Doinus too. Name Doinus. And Doinus, how often is Doinus activating? Doinus is activating twice per second. He reacted so quick to me saying this. He's hyper. Okay, and on activate. Twice per second we are... I'm also realizing we should actually do this. Const ID, and then this should be window clear timeout ID. All right. Okay, and then we're like pet dog. That is what Doinus is doing on activate. And description has very cute dogs. All right, that is Doinus. And then the next one we're doing is Prince. Damn, Prince. But I am happy you were able to calm down watching some anime. Okay, name. You are Prince. And activations per second. Okay, Prince tends to be away whenever actually I stop stream. So I think we're having like a... So if we're giving him a 0.2, then he will activate every 5 seconds. On activate, he'll be like console log, I am still here. And description has wasted the most points by far. That is the description of Prince. All right, and this is our 3 starting items. Okay, so we have our 3 starting items. And in our play component, all right, so on init is a life cycle in Angular, and I've said to implement this because now it complains, oh, like I'm missing ng on init, and then I can just do this, and bam, there's my init. And a lifecycle hook means that this, whatever code I put into this function, will run when the component is initialized. Now, we've earlier had the constructor, but the constructor is generally not meant to be used that way in Angular. The component is created, like the instance, like the constructor is called when the instance of the component is created, which is much earlier before it's actually initialized. All right, and you know what? We'll just have a we have a private function fight here, right? Fight void. All right, and so when this is initialized, we want the fight to start, right? Now, you know, we'll have const player items, which we want to retrieve from the item service. So item service, okay. God damn it. Item service. Oh, I forgot to put private in front of it. Item service, get items, right? Obviously, like, there's a lot of shit missing here right now, right? Like, usually we would have to save the items and like, but right now we're just taking these items that we found, right? And actually, we don't really have HB right now. We don't really have anything that would kill anyone right now. So I think our first of just executing the items, we'll just execute the items infinitively for now. And yeah, now we actually get into like thinking about like, okay, we have our items, they have activations, and how do we register that, right? Like, so we would want to have like an interval, probably. And for now, this interval can be half a second because that's the lowest we have, right? Yeah, let's try to do it. Let's try to do it very simple for now. Windows set interval. So every half a second, we're executing this, right? And we also have a time which starts at 0. All right, and then time plus plus equals, I guess, 500, right? So basically now the interval is called after 500. I believe it is called for the first time after 500 and not immediately. Anyways, so at this point we're like, oh, 500, right? I need to think about this. We're saving the activations per second currently on the item. So is the kind of girl who executes her chat. Is this really the best way, considering we're going interval of our time? It would probably make more sense to save it in milliseconds, right? Instead of activations per second. Actually, a millisecond cooldown is the best. So let's change this to cool down in MS, right? And then this is a 500. This is a 2000, and this is a 200. And now that we have them in milliseconds, we can just do we iterate through all our items, right? For const item of player items, if item cooldown in milliseconds modulo 500 equals 0, item punct on activate. Internet doesn't want to play nice today. I am very sorry to hear that. So, let's check the console. Yes. Look at that. Our cards, they are being played. Maybe to make this make a little bit more sense, we'll also console log time. Incredible. But Prince should come... Wait, did Prince happen? Prince should have happened at 5,000, right? Prince did not happen. Why did Prince not happen? Wait, no, Prince is on 200. Oh, wait. Yeah, we can't, like right now, since our interval is on 500, we're not supporting something under 500. And also this was not, I completely, like, this is supposed to be 5,000. Okay, there we go. Oh, also I'm dumb. Because, so now Prince fired at 500 and at 1,000. Because modulo isn't like exact, it's any, but wait, that's true too. Is it like the wrong way around? Wait a second. What am I doing here? If item cooldown, so 5,000. Oh yeah, it has to be, wait, this is also totally bullshit. It has to be this way around. Time modulo cooldown. Haha! And there, at 5,000, I'm still here. Crazy. We can also, to make this a little bit more obvious, we can also like console log time and console log item name. Yeah, the sleepy one is kind of weird still. Let's see. So sleepy has a cooldown of 500. That is true. He does. And then he is supposed to do a timeout of 1 second and then say I am awake, which happens here. It is a second later, but also I am triggering sleepy right now every half a second, which wasn't supposed to be. Like, sleepy was supposed to be actually, yeah, this is wrong way around. It was supposed to be this way around. Doinus was supposed to go a lot. And then, yeah, now we have sleepy at 2 seconds. And then at 3 seconds, sleepy is like, I'm awake. And then at 4 seconds, it's again sleepy. Okay, cool. That works now. Look at this, chat. Our items are activating. Doinus is petting his dog every half a second. That sounded wrong, but I meant it in the most wholesome way. Please trust me. And Sleepy is going to sleep every 2 seconds and then waking up every second. And then after 5 seconds, we should have, yes, Prince goes, I am still here. Our little game is running. And who needs visualization, right? Alrighty. Now, I actually think this is far enough for today. I've never seen dog used as an euphemism for that. I feel like I've heard that a lot. But yeah, anyways, you can't abuse a dog by petting it every half a second. I'm actually gonna commit this, right? And we'll have like, I'm gonna add here, you know, what did we do? We added Angular material. We added play, views, play, settings, menu, item, service, basic items, item execution. All right, very cool. We'll commit all that. Fix and commit. And we'll push that too. So if we now look at our repository, we have now all the code in here. The views, very cool. All right, and I'm gonna put the link into chat again in case you actually want to check it out. I've seen dogs used for feet. Wait, as a really? For feet? That is weird too. That I think I have never seen. I think I have never seen that. Alrighty. Anyways, we will now swap over to some Reddit. I, however, need a second here to change our title and everything. Reddit and burps. Okay, that's our title. People say like they got the dogs out when they have no shoes. Okay. Okay. Crazy. It's, yeah. Who let the dogs out, right? Yeah.